The science of twin formation, how one egg becomes two people. What if I told you that right now, somewhere in the world, a single fertilized cell, smaller than a grain of sand, is splitting in two and creating identical twins? And depending on when that split happens, the difference could mean two healthy babies, or a life-threatening crisis. Human life begins with one tiny cell. But sometimes that cell has other plans. Today, we're diving deep into one of nature's most fascinating phenomena, the science of conception, early development, and how identical twins are formed. Whether you're curious about biology, expecting a baby, or you just love mind-blowing science, this video is going to take you on an incredible journey. From the moment sperm meets egg, all the way to the moment one embryo becomes two separate human beings. And trust me, the timing of everything matters more than you ever imagined. Let's get into it. The race to fertilization. Every story of human life starts with an epic journey. When sperm enters the female reproductive system, millions of them begin racing toward one destination, the fallopian tubes, in search of a single egg. Think of it like the world's most competitive race, with millions of competitors and only one winner. When a sperm finally reaches the egg and penetrates its outer layer, something remarkable happens immediately. The surface of the egg changes, like a door slamming shut, preventing any other sperm from entering. Only one gets through, ever. Once inside, the sperm's tail? Gone. It disintegrates. It's no longer needed. Its only job was to get there. The sperm's head fuses with the egg and the real magic begins. You are made of two blueprints. Here's where it gets truly fascinating. The sperm carries the father's DNA. The egg carries the mother's DNA. When these two nuclei fuse together, they combine to create a complete set of 46 chromosomes, 23 from mom, 23 from dad. In that single moment, an entirely unique human blueprint is written for the very first time in history. This brand new cell is called a zygote, and it is, quite literally, the first cell of a new human being. Think about that. Every single thing about you, your height, your eye color, your laugh, was determined in a fraction of a second. A journey through the fallopian tube. Now, the zygote doesn't just sit there, it gets to work immediately. It starts dividing. One cell becomes two, two become four, four become eight. And as it's dividing, tiny hair-like structures inside the fallopian tube called cilia, along with gentle muscle contractions, slowly push it along toward the uterus. This journey takes about 3 to 5 days. By the time it arrives, the zygote has grown into a cluster of 16 to 32 cells called a morula, which, fun fact, literally means mulberry in Latin, because that's exactly what it looks like under a microscope. From morula to blastocyst. Around day 4, something new happens. The morula starts absorbing fluid, and a cavity forms inside it. Now it's called a blastocyst. The blastocyst has two distinct parts: an outer layer of cells that will eventually become the placenta, an inner group of cells that will develop into the actual baby. By day 5, the blastocyst reaches the uterus, hatches out of its protective membrane. Yes, it literally hatches, and attaches itself to the lining of the uterus, known as the endometrium. This process is called implantation, and it's a critical moment. Once implanted, the blastocyst can now draw nutrients and oxygen directly from the mother's blood supply. Life support is officially connected. When one becomes two, the mystery of identical twins. Now here's where the story takes an extraordinary turn. In rare cases, during the early stages of development, something unexpected happens. The developing cells split into two completely separate groups, each carrying the exact same DNA. Both groups continue dividing independently. Both will eventually become a baby. This is how identical twins are formed. But here's what most people don't know. When that split happens, changes everything. And we're talking about differences of just a few days. The timing of the split and why it matters. Scientists still don't fully understand what triggers a zygote to split. Genetic factors, certain environmental influences, and even some fertility treatments may play a role. But what we do know is this: the timing of the split determines how much the twins share inside the womb and how much risk they face. Let's break it down. Split number 1, the earliest and safest. If the split happens within the first couple of days after fertilization, at the 2-cell stage, each twin develops completely separately. Each one gets its own amniotic sac and its own placenta. These are called dichorionic diamniotic twins. This is the most common and lowest risk scenario for identical twins. Each baby has its own little environment inside the womb. Think of it like two separate apartments in the same building. Split number 2. Shared placenta, separate sacs. If the split happens a bit later, around 4 to 8 days after fertilization, the twins end up sharing one placenta, but each still has its own amniotic sac. These are called monochorionic diamniotic twins. This is actually the most common type of identical twin pregnancy, but sharing a placenta means sharing a blood supply, and that introduces a serious risk called twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome, or TTTS. In TTTS, one twin receives the majority of the blood flow, while the other is essentially starved of it. One twin grows larger, while the other struggles. And the statistics are sobering. Without treatment, 50 to 70% of cases result in the loss of both twins. It's a reminder that even the miracle of twins can come with serious challenges. Split number 3. Shared everything. If the split occurs even later, 8 to 13 days after fertilization, the twins share not only a placenta but also the same amniotic sac. These are called monochorionic monoamniotic twins. Now the risks compound. TTTS is still a concern. But on top of that, because both babies are floating in the same shared space, their umbilical cords can become tangled. And cord entanglement can be life-threatening. These pregnancies require very close medical monitoring throughout. Split number 4. Conjoined twins. And in extremely rare cases, if the split doesn't happen until day 13 to day 15, the embryo splits too late for the two bodies to fully separate. The result? Conjoined twins. These twins share organs or body parts because their separation was incomplete. The challenges they face are immense. Many are stillborn. Of those who survive birth, around 35% live only a few days due to complex medical complications. Those who do survive often face remarkable medical journeys and courageous lives. Same DNA, different journeys. So here's the big picture takeaway. One fertilized egg, one split. And depending on when that split occurs, whether it's day 1 or day 15, two people can share a placenta, a sac, or even a body. The slight differences in timing shape their entire prenatal experience. But the core truth remains. Identical twins begin as a single fertilized egg, a zygote that splits into two, creating two genetically identical human beings. Same blueprint, two unique lives. Life starts with a single cell, smaller than you can see with the naked eye, and through a series of perfectly timed, incredibly complex biological events, it can become one person. Or two. We covered the journey from fertilization to implantation, the formation of the zygote and blastocyst, and the extraordinary science behind how identical twins are formed. Most importantly, we saw how just a few days, sometimes even hours, in the timing of one split can determine whether twins share a placenta, an amniotic sac, or even a body. Biology is genuinely astonishing, and the more you understand it, the more incredible human life seems. If you found this video fascinating, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a video, and share this with someone who would love to learn something amazing today. Like our Facebook page to stay updated, and share this video with your friends and family. And follow us on Instagram for more content like this, and pass this video along to someone in your network who'd appreciate it.